on technologies we believe will be suitable for Ghana as far as our iron ore resources are concerned. We're also working on manganese ores, because we also think that it shouldn't be just a matter of just mining the ore, the pyrolusite and the rhodochrosite, and just selling. As we begin to think of our integrated iron and steel industry in Ghana, one of the major raw materials that may be needed for the project will be manganese. And I believe we all know the role of manganese in steel making. So it means that we need to start thinking, even at this stage, that very soon maybe shipping our manganese out in the raw state might be a thing of the past. We have the technologies available. We can minimize them at UMAT. Today, I want us to think about the proposed integrated iron and steel corporation. At the end of the lecture, our attempt to bring out suggestions that Ghana can go if we are to make maximum use of our locally available raw materials in Ghana. There is a popular way we can go, that of the blast furnace, basic oxygen furnace route, but that will require that we may have to go to China and import coal for metallurgical coke for the process. I started working on this in 2008, and part of the research took me to Australia from 2008 to 2012, where I did my PhD using post-consumer plastics and then end-of-life ties as important feedstocks. This is going to be my outline. I will introduce you first to the iron ores in Ghana through end-of-life life ties, work done so far, results and discussions, and then conclusions. Then after that, I will make my suggestions. These are the commercially available iron ores that we have in Ghana. They range from Opomanse iron ore in the western region. I don't know whether anyone has heard of the Opomanse iron ore. Okay. This is an iron ore that is predominantly hematite. Currently, it's around about 75% hematite. We have the Shani iron ore in the northern region. That is also hematite. Then we have the Pudo iron ore, which is in the upper west region. The Pudo iron ore, unlike the first two, is a titaniferous magnetiferous iron ore. In other words, it is predominantly magnetite. And we also have some titanium dioxide in the ore. Currently, the iron ore ranges from about 80 to about 84% magnetite, with about 10% titanium. Then you go to the Volta region. I don't know whether it's still going to be in the Volta or the Oti region, but it's around Akwafu, Tuji, and around, I think, Jasikan area. There is an iron ore, so you see the whole town sits on the iron ore. And recently we heard about Atiwa, that some iron ore has been discovered in the Atiwa forest. I put question marks there for obvious reasons, because they say we shouldn't even mention it because it is in a forest reserve. But we'll see what we can do. I am sure for now we have a lot of iron ore, so maybe that you are one, we will still put the marks there. We have then I bring the tree. The carbon dioxide that I'm sending back to the atmosphere is already carbon dioxide that the plant took from the atmosphere during photosynthesis. So rubber tie in this respect is 25% carbon neutral. Attempts have been made to solve the major issues posed by rubber ties. So you go to most countries, these are some of the things that they use their rubber ties. Something happened in Ontario, I think in 1991 or 1999. There was a fire outbreak that lasted for 30 days. 30 days. It was all up, even in Canada. So let's ask ourselves, if it had happened in Ghana, of waste rubber tie is a potential fire hazard. Now elsewhere, you have arsonists who just go and then just ignite the whole thing and then it will begin to cause havoc. Ghana, we also have a bit of arsonists when people want to protest. When people are not happy, the first thing you usually will notice that they go for rubber tires, block the roads, put the rubber tires there and set it on fire. And then they will inhale all the poisonous gases that will come from the rubber tire. So to some extent, we are also arsonists. But one thing is for sure, stockpiles of rubber tires can catch fire on their own, especially during rainfall. Lightning strikes can just cause them to ignite and then they'll burn. And usually when they begin to burn, it is difficult to control them. So we must be thinking of how to use them. This is the blast furnace. It currently accounts for 90% of all iron making globally. If you go to China, it is predominantly blast furnace iron making. But I don't think we want to go there yet for so many reasons. One reason is the fact that the capital that is required to go this way is very huge. And potentially, it can drive off a lot of investors. That's the first reason. Now, the second reason is that the blast furnace relies heavily on metallurgical coke. So, if you want to go the blast furnace way, then it means that we need to have a source of metallurgical coke. Now, outside of the blast furnace, we have alternative iron making processes that together will account for 10%. The good thing about them is that they are more flexible. You can use them to produce iron without using metallurgical coke at all. And the initial capital outlay is relatively very small compared to that of the blast furnace. This is what we call the rotary heart furnace, which is what I want to propose for some reasons. It's an industrial setup, but we can break it down schematically. It looks very simple. You start with your iron ore or oxide. You have your reductant. Currently they use coal, but where they use coal, we want to use either or all the other carbonaceous that we have in Ghana, our plastics, our sawdust, our palm kernel shells, our coconut shells. If you go to the north, I have students who use dawa, all those materials, and they all produce high-grade iron nuggets. So all we do is that we have our iron ore, we mix it with our reductant, which you can find. We do agglomeration, we dry, and then it's ready to be fired in the rotary heart furnace to produce our iron. The iron that is produced is then fed directly to our electric arc furnace to produce our steel. So we go in the integrated way, then we will suggest that we go by the rotary heart furnace and then the electric arc furnace route, so we can cut down on cost and then make use of locally available raw materials. This is the scheme. Now, why were we able to arrive at the fact that it would be better for Ghana to go along the RHF EAF route? We have done a lot of work in this area. I will take you through a few of them. When I take rubber tie, I have already shown that it consists of the polystyrene and then polybutadiene copolymer. But this is the chemical analysis that we did for rubber tie, and compared it with high density polyethylene, metallurgical coke, and then petroleum coke. For every carbonaceous material, if you want to use it as a reducing agent, the most important elements are carbon and hydrogen. We should have a very high carbon and or a very high hydrogen. The sulfur content should be very low. I mentioned this for a reason. Now, if you take a look at what we have over there, you will notice that for the rubber tie, the total carbon could go up to about 83.8%. High density polyethylene is about 85.5. Petroleum coke is about 99.86. Metallurgical coke that was used by one company in Australia, one steel mill, was around 78.7. You look at the hydrogen, rubber tie 7.13, high density polyethylene 14.2, petroleum coke and metallurgical coke they have just negligible amounts. Then we go to the sulfur. You notice that rubber tie has about 2.0, high density polyethylene 0.30, petroleum coke 2.81, metallurgical coke 0.32. It means that even though rubber tie is a very good carbonaceous material, the presence of the sulfur alone will make it unsuitable for use in iron making. So we started thinking about how to deal with the sulfur. If you have sulfur and then you do your reduction, the metal that you produce will quickly pick the sulfur. And sulfur in iron or steel can cause what is known as stress corrosion cracking. So usually we want to minimize sulfur and then another substance, phosphorus. So in this respect, you will notice that then the best reductant will be high density polyethylene. So it means that we can, in Ghana, we have our sachet, our pure water sachet. You drink the water and then you throw the sachet away. It's made from high density polyethylene. We then decided to find a way, because the HDPE didn't have any problem, but then the rubber tie, there should be a way to deal with the sulfur. We did some ash analysis, and for the ash analysis, you compare rubber tie to metallurgical coke that is used in the industry. You see that silica is only 27.94 for rubber tie, as opposed to 50.7 for metallurgical coke. And then we have a few others. Now, once again, check SO3. What do you notice? You see that the SO3 for metallurgical coke is only 0.39, but the rubber tie is once again 7.58. This will end up in the metal. We saw something curious, zinc oxide in the ash of rubber tie that could go up to about 40.81. So we notice that when we get to the point where we are using it industrially, that could also be a potential source for getting zinc for the commercial production of zinc as well. We started with hematite. The iron composition was 96.89%. We also wanted to see what will happen if we were to have a low-grade ore. So we went for electric arc furnace slag. The iron oxide content was only 47.1. This is significantly below the iron ore grade that we have in Ghana. So we wanted to look at the extreme ends. One that is high, very rich, and the one that is very low. These are some of the processes that we use in preparing our plastics over there. But in Ghana, we have found a very simple way of preparing our carbonaceous materials. We don't need to go along this way. Form your cylindrical pellets using our substrate maker. Then we placed the pellets. The red one that you see is for the hematite. The black is for the EAF slag. We started with a horizontal tube furnace. Currently in Ghana, we use simple devices like our own sikabuchia to reduce our iron ore. And we even use the domestic microwave to produce iron in Ghana. This is the scheme of the horizontal tube furnace. Now this, you can capture everything that happens in situ. So you just put everything, set up, you give it about 40 minutes, you can go, by the time you come back, the reaction is complete. You capture everything in situ, visual images, along with Excel files to work on the rate of reduction. Now, this is some of the metallic ion that we produce. You see a sphere sitting over here, and then to this side, you see another sphere sitting over here. We wanted to see the potential effect of the rubber tie if were to blend it with the conventional material used in the industry. Now look at this. This is iron that was produced using 100% metallurgical coke from the industry. If you look at it critically, you will see that separation of the metal from the slag and then other unwanted debris was difficult. We then we took 30% of the metallurgical coke away and then added just 30% rubber tie. If you compare these two separations, you notice that as you introduce the rubber tie, you are able to separate the metal from the unwanted material. So right away, we knew that we were moving towards achieving something better than what was existing in industry. Initial work was done in collaboration with one steel Sydney mill, the second steel making industry in Australia. They are now known as Arium. I don't know whether you've heard their names before. Then we came to Ghana. We went to Pudo in the Upper West region. We took the ore, we mixed it with 100% rubber tie, no metallurgical coke, nothing. That is the iron that you test for this iron. We've already made some tests and then you see that it is indeed a premium grade metallic iron. It could go up to about 99% iron. The difference being the carbon that iron will pick naturally when you do a reduction. These nuggets are ready to be used in the electric arc furnace for the production of steel. We use other carbonaceous material, sawdust, PET, polyethylene terephthalate, like the Vortic, high density polyethylene, polystyrene. We use so many materials, and then the iron we obtain, we just group them. High grade, what we call premium grade iron, ready to be used to feed. So as we speak, we are able to produce iron from all the ores I've mentioned so far using just waste materials. And the process is superior to what exists currently in industry. These are visual observations that when we were using the horizontal two furnaces we saw. If you compare coke and then coke plus 20%, these figures will show that when you add rubber tie, the process is better than when you use only metallurgical coke. Then the question then came, but rubber tie contains a lot of sulfur, and this sulfur can get into the metal. So how do you solve this process? We did some work, and then we did some blending, and then we realized that at a certain point, if you look at what exists in industry, we use one steel metallurgical coke. So it means that the iron that you produce will contain about close to 0.2% sulfur. Well, when we use rubber tie, it was similar to metallurgical coke. So it means that industrially, even if you were to use the raw rubber tie, it's not very different from using the normal metallurgical coke. But we did some blending, and you notice that at blend 1, the iron that was produced was virtually devoid of sulfur. So it means that if you were to do some blending, you have some other carbonaceous material, you put your polymer there, you can produce an iron from a rubber tie without any sulfur at all. We saw that when you have slag, it can have an impact on the level of sulfur. And to be able to produce slag, usually we add fluxes. So that will naturally produce your slag in the process so that you can have your sulfur free. In the absence of slag, this is the level of sulfur. So already we knew that a bit of slag will do some magic for us when you have the polymer being present. But you notice also